welcome to the debut of Half Horse Tarot. I am here with your August 2018 free general reading. I'll go ahead and leave some comments in the description below to give you some more information regarding how I read and what you guys need to keep in mind as you listen to these readings. So I want to go ahead and get started on your reading right away because there's a lot that is showing up in these cards. So the central issue for the month for you guys is karma in reverse, and this deck labels some of these cards a bit differently, but karma is essentially this deck's version of judgment in reverse. And I think that for a lot of you out there, you are kind of at a crossroads in your life. You're at the point where decisions need to be made about what it is that you want and how you want to move forward. And these are going to be major life altering decisions. I do think that some of you guys are also, with this being in the reverse, are not making these choices. And I think a lot of that is fear-based. I think that making a decision to do something that is best for you may mean leaving behind that which you've already built. And I think that for some of you guys, it's kind of a scary proposition. So you're just sort of not wanting to acknowledge something for what it really is. And that's going to be your challenge for this month, is seeing a particular situation in its true light and true form, seeing something for what it is. And with this particular card being called karma, I think you also need to be aware of how your actions are impacting other people, how that ripple effect of that drop in the water is affecting those others that you surround yourself with in your life. And the reason why I say that is because if you are in a place where you are scared to make a decision, where you're holding back from doing something because you don't want to let go of some things or somebody, you may be negatively impacting them as well. And that's something that you have to take in consideration too. So looking at your more distant past, we have the Adept of Orbs, which is this deck's version of the Knight of Swords. For some of you, this may be a person, and if this is a person, they are most likely an air sign, which would be Gemini, Aquarius, and Libra. But for a lot of you guys, I think that this individual card is actually not an actual person. I believe that it's more so an energy, a type of energy that you guys have been bringing forward with you in the past. And I think that a lot of you guys, kind of like you can see the individual doing here in the card, were evaluating, your options, possibly moving forward. I think that for some of you guys, you started to take steps to make some changes in your life. And I think that maybe things came a little too hot and too fast, as is sometimes the case with the sword suit. And I think that may have scared you guys off from continuing forward with those changes. But I do think that some of you guys have had the realization that, you aren't really happy. You're kind of in a situation that isn't satisfactory for you. And there was this energy of movement in the distant past, and it's not really there now. In the more recent history, you have the Four of Crystals, which is equivalent to the Four of Pentacles. It is in the upright, and I usually prefer this card in the reverse just because in the upright, this person has really clingy energy to me a lot of times. And in the positive, you may be somebody who has a lot of security in your material world. You may have a decent house and a stable job, and your finances may be stable, but ultimately there's not really much growth or forward movement. There's just this desire to stay in a situation that you're comfortable in, even if that situation may not be the best for you currently. So to kind of combine these past energies together, I do think that at one point in time there was a push to move forward and to make some changes, or at least the contemplation of doing so. But ultimately, this could also be somebody else in your life that you're close to, but for the most part, I think this is going to be your energy. I believe that you decided to kind of just dig your feet in the ground and stay where you are, almost out of a stubbornness and a fear of letting go of what you've already accumulated. So kind of looking at the energy that we're working with presently, and that's kind of dominating the month. The way I read this spread is the cards that are above your central issue are things that may be external to you. In other words, other people may be doing these things to you, or they may be energies that are basically out of your control. They could also be things that are just going on in your mind. So we have the Ten of Chalices in reverse up here at the very top, which is the Ten of Cups in reverse. This to me symbolizes some sort of severe lack of emotional fulfillment. You're at the 10, you're at the end of a cycle, but there isn't really anything satisfying about the situation. Or, another way to put it is that everything that glitters is not always gold. Something may look good on the outside, but on the inside, I think that there's some degree of deterioration in this particular situation. And because it is a 10, it is an emotionally charged situation that has been going on for a significant amount of time. This isn't something new. This is a situation that's been in place for a while. And this could symbolize a relationship. And I think for a lot of you, it will. Because mirroring that, I have the Two of Cups down here. So I do believe that for a lot of you guys, it is some sort of relationship or marriage. It could also be a business relationship or partnership, but for a lot of you guys, I do think that there is some sort of emotional connection there. And I think at one point in time it was good, and now it's really not. And the parties that are involved, that may be you or the other individual, there is no real happiness here, and you're just kind of going through the motions. It's mostly kind of like a facade at this point. I also have the Ten of Orbs above you guys, which is this deck's equivalent to the Ten of Swords in the traditional tarot, and this card is in the upright. And there's nothing really positive about this card. If this is what's going on in your head, then clearly, you might feel betrayed, you might feel hurt, you might realize that there's a situation in your life that needs to end. And that realization is kind of a crushing one. If this is external to you, then somebody may be ending things with you. It really is just going to depend on your particular situation. But when I have these two cards together with the Ten of Cups in reverse and the Ten of Orbs or Swords, it's not really a positive combination. It usually kind of symbolizes the complete dissolution of long-standing relationships, family situations, marriages, partnerships, whatever that may be. So I think that, you do know that something in your life needs to end, needs to change, and you need to kind of let go and move on. The positive is that whatever the situation is, once it's over, it's over. You can begin to recover and start moving forward in a newer, better direction for you ultimately. Looking at your foundation, this is kind of like the energy that you stand on and the things that you have more control over. Would be everything here under your central issue. We have the Strength card, which is a little bit different than it is in the traditional tarot. In the traditional deck, you have the lion depicted, and here you have a tiger. So this could be a Leo individual that you might be coupled with, or that you might be very close to. I don't really get the Leo vibe as much just because of the lack of the lion, but it could be a person, so I just want to throw that out there in case that resonated with anybody. But I think it has to do more so with your own energy and the fact that you are a strong individual. You know, you have strength. You have the ability to withstand and survive anything, even if that means, you know, having to let go of things that you have had in place for a long time and really kind of embracing the fear of the unknown. You have the potential to do that. That is within your control. So, you know, you're not a weak-minded person. You have the ability to do what you need to do to kind of live your best life. And we also have the Two of Chalices, which is the Two of Cups. So, you know, I definitely think that for a lot of you, this is going to be relating to a romantic relationship or marriage. It could also be a business partnership that you're going through. I do believe that if it is a relationship, you know, it's something that has been around for a long time. It's long-standing. You may even be coupled with a Leo. You know, just kind of fit that to your particular situation as you will. So, you know, we definitely have some sort of relationship here that, you know, it's existing at this point, but I don't really think that it's thriving. You know, when we kind of clarify these cards, like we've got something that I think people are kind of just clinging on to one another. And, you know, even though the unhappiness is there and the dissatisfaction is there, people aren't really willing to let go of each other. And if you look at these cards here, look at their arms, you can see that they're kind of intertwined. Normally the Two of Cups is a positive card to me, but with the cards that are surrounding it, I think that it just kind of symbolizes that there is a partnership there, but ultimately it's not really fulfilling. So looking at your energy moving forward throughout the month of August, we have the Eight of Flames in reverse, which is the Eight of Wands reversed. And this is slightly different than the normal tarot depiction as well when we show it in the upright. As you can see, all of the wands here are arranged in a circular pattern as opposed to kind of like, you know, a bow and arrow. I think that this card is going to take kind of a different shape for, you know, different people out there depending on what you choose to do this month. For some of you guys, we have, you know, karma here. I think that this is going to be the breaking of some sort of karmic cycle that you've been trapped in for a long time now. You know, you realize that the situation isn't going anywhere. It's just going in circles. Nobody's happy. You're not satisfied, and this isn't really fulfilling. And you are going to make the decision to break that tie and start taking steps to move forward. Others of you are going to continue to go around the merry-go-round because, you know, you're scared to branch out and do something different, and this is what you know, this is what you've been doing, it's cyclic, and so you're just going to stick with what you know. In the distant future, you have the Five of Swords reversed, which is, the Five of Orbs reversed, which is this deck's equivalent of the Five of Swords, and this one's a bit different as well. In the upright, as you can see, you have an individual here in a green suit with a faceless mask, and they are juggling these orbs on some rocks, and they've already dropped 2 out of the 5 of them, but they keep juggling the 3, even though they've already broken some. And for a lot of you, I think this is going to represent that you guys have been going through some sort of situation in which, you know, there's been a lot of conflict, there's been some difficulty, maybe harsh words that have been said, feelings that have been hurt, hearts that have been broken, and you still continue to go through the motions, and you have these ups and downs and this kind of emotional roller coaster. And you've been in that situation for a while, and I think that some of you guys are going to come to the realization that you have sacrificed too much of yourself, your self-identity, your self-respect in continuing to fight this battle that really no one's going to be a winner in. And you're going to decide to, you know, stop juggling these orbs. You're going to lay down, you know, the proverbial sword, and you are going to move on from the conflict with a more open-minded state of mind. And then for others of you, you know, we have, like I said earlier with the Eight of Wands in reverse, I think others of you are just going to continue to go through the cycle. With both of these cards being in the reverse, I think some of you are going to break out of the cycle and others of you are just going to continue to run around in the same circles that you've been going through. And, ultimately, no tarot card is going to tell you what you are or you are not going to do throughout the month. That's a decision that you need to make on your own. And so kind of the outcome is going to be dependent on what it is you personally decide to do. We have the overall energy of here of the Seven of Crystals in reverse, which is the Seven of Pentacles reversed in the traditional tarot. And in the upright, you can see that this guy is just kind of off by himself, and there's all these people in the background and a lot of stuff going on, but he's out here waiting for something to happen with these crystals, for something to materialize. And, again, some of you guys are just going to continue to keep waiting. You're going to be continue to stay stuck in a situation that isn't right for you, and you're just going to keep going around in those circles, even though deep down it needs to end. Others of you are actually going to start to take the steps to end that situation, or this is going to be done to you. Somebody else is going to come to you and say, I can't do this anymore. And then you're just going to have to kind of pick up the pieces from there. So in other words, if you aren't willing to, because sevens are all about making choices, if you aren't going to make the decision, I think eventually it's going to be made for you one way or the other. So I do think that, this month, the key thing is to really evaluate what you want in your life, what you believe is best for you, and what is best really for the other people in your life as well. Even if you feel comfortable staying in a situation, you don't want to hold other people back from potentially finding happiness or something better for themselves either. I do have another deck here. It's an oracle deck, and these are kind of like, I use these to kind of interpret the past and the future energies, things that you have brought with you into this month and things that you're going to carry with you moving forward. And so we have, for your past energy, we have the Asiatic black bear or the prostitute, which kind of goes in with what I was saying earlier. This card shows up when an individual has kind of sacrificed a lot of their self-integrity, their self-identity and respect, and they have put themselves in a situation where they kind of allow themselves to be victimized over and over and over again. This could be being taken advantage of, being manipulated, possibly even being abused. But because they're scared to leave behind that which gives them safety and security, they continue to remain stuck and, just sort of play the victim over and over and over again. And I think, for a lot of you guys, that was the energy that you have been carrying around for a long time. That may be the energy that you're bringing into the beginning of the month. But we have over here in your future energies, we have the moose, who is durability. And this is kind of a reminder that, going back here to strength, that you are a strong person. You can withstand anything that life throws your way. Even if you have to tear everything down that you've built and start over, you can do it. You have that potential. And the message that it's trying to tell you is not to let fear and doubt hold you back from doing the things in life that make you happy, that give you fulfillment, and that you need to do. So to kind of summarize all of that, I think the key thing for you guys is to kind of go through a period of reevaluation this month. I think a lot of people are going through changes with the end of the year coming up. So I don't really necessarily think it's a negative thing. I think that ultimately whatever does happen, whether or not you end a situation or somebody else ends it for you, I do think that it's going to be a positive change moving forward. For those of you who are clinging on, we have the propensity to cling on to situations until the very end, and that's a very natural and human thing to do. And I can't tell you to let go of your marriage or sell your house or quit your job or whatever it is that you probably need to do. But this month, just really try to go within, have a period of introspection, and figure out what it is that you want. So I hope that this resonated with some of you guys. If it didn't, then go ahead and check back. I'm going to do a mid-month update to see how these energies may or may not have changed for you guys, and maybe even reach out to some more people. So go ahead and let me know in the comments if any of this made sense to you guys. I'd love to hear from you. And if you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to the channel, and I would love to devote some more time to making these videos for you guys. So please just go ahead and let me know if you like them, and hopefully we can get this channel going. All right, so thank you guys, and I will see you in the middle of the month.